Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Totally Not Mark, and we're on his final video of the Dragon Ball Super review, part 6. I've really enjoyed these. It's nice to look back on each part, and now we'll see Totally Not Mark discuss the thing in a whole, shall we? May as well finish this off. Let's check it out.
January 23rd, 2020. Little did I know that on
the
that
GT reviews.
day, as I began
They were good.
harmlessly my very
They were
first
good.
Dragon Ball GT review, that I would be sealing my fate for the next 5 months, reviewing arc after arc of Dragon Ball GT, but then having the bright idea of reviewing Dragon Ball
Super
with
afterwards,
the ambition of creating an episode where I discuss and break down which one I actually preferred and why. Week after week after week, I uploaded review after review.
They're really good.
Finally
They've been
culminating
really
with
good.
last week's 17-page long, 45-minute muscle-bound epic chronicling the entire
Interesting,
Tournament
Shaggy.
of Power. All 36 episodes from beginning to end. My hands, my head, and my eyes hurt, but this has been some of the most fun I've had making videos with you guys in a very long time. So before I begin this video, I want to say right from the top, thank you so very much for watching along for the last while. It sincerely means the world.
I've really enjoyed them.
This marks a turning point, as today I will be putting the final pin in the Dragon Ball Super story
next?
the same way I did with Dragon Ball GT all those months ago. In this episode, I will be reviewing and breaking
I hope he
down
does the
everything I loved,
why the time
liked,
travel
and
makes no
hated
sense in
from
Goku
Dragon Ball
Blackheart.
Super. I'll also explain in places how I think it could have been improved, and at the end I will be explaining what's next. From the Battle of Gods arc all the way through the Goku Black arc into the Universe Survival arc. This is my impression and final review of the series that kickstarted my entire YouTube career. I'm Totally Not Mark, and this is my final review of Dragon Ball Super.
Cool.
In order to effectively and thoroughly assess my feelings on this arc, I will go through every major character and I will touch on their involvement and output in various arcs they participated in. With each character in section, I'll talk about what I liked first and then what I disliked. So, sound good? Oh, good. Also, I'm not going to touch on the animation from the first 2 sagas. It's sort of low-hanging fruit and you guys already know what I think about it.
Yes, we are very well
aware. On this channel already. Anyway, first character, our main man G that dons the orange gi. Let's first discuss Dragon Ball Super's Goku. I really enjoyed the first episode, believe it or not, or at least his involvement with the first episode. Let's not talk about the snake water stuff. But on a more serious note, Goku's fight against Hit had something I wish we saw more of in the series.
Yes, that was a highlight, man.
And in a lot of
That
ways
was a highlight.
succeeding in figuring out how their opponent moved and attacked, strategizing to find a countermeasure. We got to see some stuff like that a little with the Tournament of Power, with Goku in his fight against Jiren. Sort of. I say sort of because Jiren is just sort of strong. So it's just a question of needing to get better and meet that challenge. That said though, Goku's fight with Hit was entertaining and lighthearted enough for me not to take it super seriously, but also provided enough interest for me to sink my teeth into. I also really enjoyed the concept, build-up, and delivery of the form Ultra Instinct. I think the form was distinct enough from Super Saiyan and the various
it stood out as its own thing.
However, one thing that's interesting to me, at least about it, is that in the ways that it is distinct from the other forms, that particular aspect of it makes it very difficult to age gracefully like any other transformation would. If you look back in the series, transformations like Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, and absolutely Super Saiyan have become forms that aren't nearly as respected as they were before because they need to make room for new ones.
Right, okay.
Ultra Instinct, as far as I can understand, is based on perfect combat. So I'm not exactly sure how the company can write around that because eventually there's going to be
something
new
else
forms
on
because
top
there's
of it.
got to be new toys, so I am interested to see how that progresses.
It seems like they're messing about with that with the manga right now, though, doesn't it?
Super's Goku. Stupid Super Goku.
Yes.
I've seen a lot
He's
of
very
discourse
stupid
in the
in this
comment
show.
sections about me labeling certain instances where Goku acts a certain unappealing way to me as being unfair or unjustified, so let me explain what I mean by stupid Super Goku. From the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way through to
He's
the end
really
of the Buu
totally
saga,
dumbed
Goku has
down
remained
in
capable
this.
of being serious when he needs to, but that's not to say he always needs or should even be serious most of the time, because him being serious technically isn't really my issue.
Yeah.
In fact, throughout the series, one of Goku's defining character traits has been his innocence and ability
His
to defuse
childlike
situations that
nature.
should be complicated or tense in normal society. With curiosity and enthusiasm, he shows all those involved that certain conventions we all abide by can be ignored for the better. Whether it be his approach to Snake Way, his approach to training and bettering himself in combat, his interactions with Chi-Chi, and his proposal at the World Tournament, even meeting his son for the first time.
Oh.
Dragon Ball Super even has aspects that I think nailed this particular aspect of Goku on a number of occasions too. In the Universe 6 tournament, as everyone is bowing to Zeno, Goku treats him like he would anyone else, because he already treats everyone the way he would like to be treated, with a friendly approach and an enthusiastic energy to engage in the interaction. I like that. I found Goku's relationship with Zeno to be believable, and it worked for me, honestly. So that's not what I'm talking about when I say stupid Super Goku. When I say that,
really
I'm
stupid
talking
moments.
specific instances where Goku takes that Goku trait of showing interest and enthusiasm for people and changing it into an obnoxious and irritating energy. For example, when he first meets Zamasu. Contrast this to when Goku first met Beerus in the Battle of Gods movie. In that, he showed an excitement and an enthusiasm for fighting Beerus, but he also didn't act like a fool floating around him making faces. In fact, the whole joke of that scene is based on Goku trying to find a tasteful way of making the request to fight Beerus. It sounds like a subtle difference, but it manifests in a huge tonal shift if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
It's the difference between sounding innocent and sounding like a petulant 4-year-old child.
Yes,
this
there
isn't
is,
to say
like,
that it happens all the time.
not knowing what's going on
Despite
to
it showing up more times than I can
Brat.
tolerate for the most part, Super has produced some actually interesting instances of dialogue with Goku too. In previous videos, I've celebrated scenes
the
like
Frieza
his
moment.
interaction with Frieza, bringing him back to life, and when he entered the tournament with Frieza too. But when I look back on the series as a whole, I can't help but focus on instances where the writing staff thought it was an okay thing for him to do to forget a key part of the plan of attack in the Goku Black arc twice. Let's talk about Dragon Ball Super's Gohan. I like Gohan from episode 90 onwards. And to be honest, I don't really have many issues with how he's treated from that point up until the end of the tournament. I mean, I think he has a great balance of humility, humanity, and tenacity. He stays active in the tournament for about as long as he should. His character said everything that he needed to say and served his team well when all was said and done. And I pretty much said everything positive for the character that I wanted to in the previous video. However, even this aspect of his character, this section, it was set up in an incredibly unbelievable and personally a really unsatisfying way.
It was very rushed, wasn't it? It's like, hey, I've not been doing any training to in a day.
And I don't even think I'm interested in seeing that side of Gohan in the first place. I mean, I get that the Buu Saga Gohan has a lot of fans, and so does the Great Saiyan Man.
Does he though?
I just don't get the same appeal, and so you can imagine how vapid and nothing Gohan's character was for me personally watching the first 90 episodes of Dragon Ball Super.
Just not
Let's talk about
being
Vegeta.
cool.
In terms of stuff that I liked, his Daddy Vegeta stuff with Bulma and Bulla or Bra was endearing. In addition to that, I enjoyed his beatdown of Goku Black for the same reasons I liked him doing so in the prior arcs of Z. It's cathartic, but there's nothing really
Go for Vegeta.
His antics trying to distract Beerus in the Battle of Gods arc was good, and his defense
it was alright. It was a bit frustrating.
But a lot of this seemed very safe and predictable for me. And honestly, the most surprising thing I found when rewatching this series was, despite being a main character that receives almost as much screen time as Goku, he is basically just an accessory for Goku to set up his fights and to be present to bounce off of when banter needs to be made.
Yes.
He is quite literally Goku's sidekick. As I said, someone to create
annoyingly so,
with,
but I think again, they're
someone to take the hits so the situation and tension
remedying that
now,
within the
clear,
manga at the moment.
This wasn't something that I disliked in the original series, as Vegeta at the time was very much a flawed and incomplete character. But since his sacrifice at the end of the Buu Saga, Vegeta the character is supposed to be a better and more competent person, and usually that manifests in positive changes for the character in the story.
Right.
But no, nothing changes. After coming on this massive journey, he's just as ineffective in battle as he ever has been. Competent,
again,
but
I think they're remedying that in the manga.
Because that's a large part of his charm. In fact, I'd almost argue that it's a fundamental part of his charm. There's just nothing new here in the series for Vegeta in any meaningful way. In fact, Dragon Ball Super went out of its way to revert Vegeta's character back a few spaces when the series actually began. Remember at the end of the Buu arc when Vegeta says to Goku that he's the best or something? Well, while Vegeta's
You're the best or something.
in the Battle of Gods arc, he pretty much undoes all of that. And why? Because at the end of Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta needs to make the decision that he's not going to chase Goku anymore.
I won't chase you, I'll do this thing my own way.
Decision at the end of the Buu Saga. Which brings me to his sacrifice in Super's big ending. This sacrifice moment in the Tournament of Power, I loathe with every fiber
It's a bit
of my
grim.
being. I hate it as much as I hate the Piccolo sacrifice in the Resurrection F arc, and for the same reason. It
Throwback
serves no
with
purpose other than to rest on the hype and ceremony created
Of what
around a
was.
better moment from the original series. Vegeta isn't making any statement of character here. It's as if they thought what made the scene cool back in the day was how it looked and nothing else.
how it felt.
Vegeta doesn't get an arc of any description in this show. He doesn't try to overcome anything. We already know he's fighting for his family. We already know he loves them and cares about other people. What made the original scene as impactful as it was the fact that we didn't have a confession that Vegeta actually did care for anyone. This scene therefore only serves to try to recreate that same magic by changing nothing. Oh, but he talks about Kaba too. Who cares? Who actually cares about Kaba? Kaba doesn't even care about Kaba. And that's another thing. One of the elements that Super added that I actually thought they were going to go somewhere with was his relationship with Kaba and the Universe 6 Saiyans as a mentor figure. But nope, we barely
they
get
just
anything
brushed
for
over that.
I suppose it's better
That
to
would have
watch
been
Goku
cool.
act like a 4-year-old while Jiren
God,
sleeps
excuse
for
me.
a million episodes. And trust me, I'm going to get to him. But first, let's talk about Beerus and Whis quickly. I don't want to spend too much time exploring Beerus and Whis because, well, let's face it, the show didn't die there. But what little we did get to see of them in the brief moments they did extend into the story in meaningful ways, I did enjoy quite a bit. Those instances they do so really worked and made Super feel like its own thing and not
Yeah, it
something
opens the
only
universe up
concerned
to,
with
like,
returning and calling
other
back to classic moments from Z. Whis' training of Goku and Vegeta at various points in the series were fantastic and provided some of my favorite training moments in the entire series. I also adore Whis' character. I find him to be a strangely
He's so
perfect
chill.
foil for both Goku and Vegeta, which is honestly a tough balance to try and strike. He's orderly enough to contrast Goku and flamboyant enough to bounce off Vegeta well. He's my favorite new character introduced into Super by a long way. Beerus, unfortunately, does even less, however. Pretty much
It was
returns to the same
interesting
story beats and
initially,
gags
but it
time
was
and again.
boring because
Always
we'd
looking
seen
to
it
be
in the
uninvolved
movies
with
already. It's like,
whatever
ugh.
Goku and Vegeta are doing that particular week. He's angry with Goku, he's angry with Vegeta, he's angry with Goku and Vegeta. Sleeping, hungry. Heck, remove that eating stuff right there and Beerus gets almost as much screen time as Yamcha. The character has virtually nothing to do with the
Yikes.
story, and what drew my attention to this was actually his Hakai of Zamasu. It wasn't a particularly intense moment driven by story, but it was still hugely entertaining. And I think it's largely because we know he's an imposing, important character, but we never actually get to see him do anything. Let's talk about Hit. Hit was somewhat interesting.
Initially
It
was so cool, and then it's like,
doing
ugh.
nothing with the character.
Yeah.
The most noteworthy thing he did after episode
Was make
39
Goku
was
go that
lose
far.
to Monaka and then lose to Jiren later on.
Damn
He
it.
didn't
Yeah, the
even
Monaka thing was
participate
like
in the
a-
baseball episode.
he threw
when
that.
first aired, I had thought that it was largely due to them wanting to protect the characters.
The
mystique
baseball
for the
episode
Tournament of
was
Power,
so
but he does nothing
good.
in that either. So now I ask, why does Hit even exist? Let's talk about Zamasu.
Yeah, it's like they came up with him and didn't know what to do with him later on.
DeviantArt fanfiction coming to life aside, this Goku Black was a really fun character.
Hell
full of
yes,
personality.
favorite
I get
arc.
that
I know it
Zamasu
doesn't make
isn't the
sense.
exact same
Blah.
character as Goku Black, but they are both Zamasu. So, in my mind, one of two things should have happened in this arc. Either both characters should have behaved and acted the exact same way, or the differences
Huh.
that existed
No,
between the characters should
well,
have
the
led to
personalities
conflict
changed
later
because
in
of the
arc
different routes
between
they've
them.
gone.
But neither happens, and I can't be the only one that thinks this. Goku Black is an entirely different character to Zamasu,
Yeah, it makes
who
sense to
happens
me.
be immortal. A lot of people might explain this away by drawing attention to how Goku's body might have changed his outlook, and yeah, okay, but then why not do something with how his character has changed in that body? He was already powerful enough
I
in
suppose
episode
that is
64
true,
to a
yes.
frankly absurd degree. Maybe in that arc he could have been rubbed the wrong way by Zamasu a few too many times. Maybe he was waiting for the right moment to dispose of Zamasu.
That
When
would
the
have been
Mothra was
cool.
used against him, perhaps Black had the chance to save Zamasu,
But then I won't
instead
have
he
my
goes
merch
full Scar and says,
Zamasu
"Long
Funko
live
Pop.
the
That
king,"
looks
before
amazing.
allowing Zamasu to fall into the metaphorical mouth of a gorge of rampaging wildebeest. And despite that metaphor actually getting away from me, it still makes a lot more sense than the entire arc, so take that. And
Damn.
speaking of that, I thought it was a really weird choice to have this super complicated plot about what is ultimately a really, really simple story. Trunks' timeline is in trouble, they need to get the bad guys out. And despite that simple story, in order to make even
They
the
made
most
it so
humble of attempts to
convoluted.
make sense of all of this, you need a tall glass of coffee, a wide open schedule, and a corkboard with a
Please
million
make the
intersecting
video.
strings. And
Make
guess
the
what?
video.
It still doesn't make sense even if you do that. Let's talk about Frieza.
Yay!
Frieza is, without reservation, the
I
best
love
character
Frieza.
in Dragon Ball Super, don't at me. and it's not even a contest. Granted, he's not in it a lot, and maybe that's part of the appeal for me, but from the moment Goku...
Because you're wondering what he's doing when he's not on screen.
And even beyond that into the Broly movie, Frieza enhances each and every scene he participates in. And even in scenes he's not in, I swear, towards the ending of the Tournament of Power, I was waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, you're wondering, like, what's he doing now? Who's he fighting now? Who's dealing with now?
That's another sign of a character that adds to a show. On top of that, again, Frieza's story in the Universe Survival Arc begins as someone who would hop onto any other team that at the first sign of a better deal, eventually coming to terms with his trust issues at the end of the arc. It's compelling stuff, producing for me, throughout his time in the tournament, great moment after moment. Easily the star of the show for me. But we're finally here, let's talk about Dragon Ball Super's Jiren. For the first 90% of the Universe Survival Arc, Jiren's arc is a beautiful story of how a fence post became a character. I wrote a video talking about Jiren in depth that I think you should watch if you haven't or
good
are
video.
interested.
They're good,
In
those
short,
character
it doesn't work
dissection
for the
videos.
story this arc is trying to tell, I think, personally. But I have more to add to that, along with, I think, an explanation. But before I get to that, people have been commenting on my last video addressing my "people are flying" comments by saying, well, actually, if you really account for all the variables that the so-called flying you're referring to in the Tournament of Power could be accounted for with a series of complex physics-based explanations.
That wasn't flying.
That was falling with style.
Oh yeah? Well, what about this?
He's levitating. He is levitating. That's the same thing.
Even the flying aside, that honestly isn't even the first or even the last issue I had with Jiren as a character. He just does stuff and then doesn't for ages. The Universe Survival Arc, if you really boil it down, is just a collection of really cool moments, but there isn't a story like the other tournaments in Dragon Ball have had. As I've said, I've enjoyed
other than we need to save our universe from being destroyed, and that all these other universes get destroyed along the way.
Video, I addressed everything I really enjoyed, which happened to climax well with the final 3 episodes of the series. But despite those episodes working in isolation, in a vacuum, the real problems the arc itself faces become much more evident the farther back you stand from the problem. Because as a story, the arc itself is flawed on a fundamental level and suffers from severe bloating at times in unnatural ways. I sincerely believe now, after going back over the series, that the driving force behind the story and pacing issues plaguing the series is most certainly not the lack of effort or imagination at the studio, but in fact a lack of a solid foundation or source from which to establish or create a story upon. While Akira Toriyama is very much in charge of dictating the story of the series, what he gives to the studios and Toyo Taro in terms of material to work with is completely unknown. It's obvious to me at least that both Toei and Toyo Taro with his manga embellish and deviate from the notes of Akira Toriyama when the opportunity presents itself. This is most obvious given that both make very different choices with the story, yet intersect at a number of key points before ending in the same place.
Right.
Keeping that in mind, I think it's somewhat telling when looking back at the anime's final arc episode list. Notice anything different between this and all of the other arcs? Anybody? How about the fact that it's over twice as long as the second longest and 4 times longer than the others? And if you notice, all the arcs of Super that appear in the manga also are longer and more bloated than the manga's version, which doesn't have to deal with a specific pressure the anime does. And this pressure, I think, is the main driving force behind why the anime feels so bloated and boring in certain parts. And that pressure is time slots.
Well, yeah, it's coming out every week, wasn't it?
3-year stint on Fuji TV.
The manga
March
is a
25th,
monthly thing, is it not?
2018. However, the Universe Survival Arc, penned to be the climax of the series, was announced in 2016 and ran for over 13 months.
Jesus
This is
Christ.
simply an observation of mine, but while the final arc of Super has the most story to tell, I still believe the writers and producers of the show were faced with a crisis of story.
That is one
a problem
hell of a
trying to fit a square block into a circular hole. They had a story
schedule.
provided by Akira Toriyama, but in its current state would not bring them to the finish line of March 25th. And so, then we were greeted with 7-episode-long stints where Jiren, the goal of the
Just did
tournament,
nothing.
sleeps
Right,
and
makes sense.
stands on the
Paces it out in a
sidelines doing
really
nothing. This would
boring
explain why
way.
so much emphasis was put onto characters in the tournament that ultimately went nowhere, and this also explains why the tournament felt less like a story and more like a filler-tastic Monster of the Week type series, with every universe in the tournament falling to Universe 7's efforts, and no other universe ever leading to a subsequent universe's demise. Not even the great Jiren was able to eliminate a single universe.
Huh.
Heck, even the manga at least doesn't share that problem, and I have a host of reasons not to enjoy that telling too. But in saying this, however, assuming my theory is correct, I think what Toei did to fill the time was somewhat well done. While the story from start to finish doesn't flow well, the series of mini moments worked well individually. However, in saying that, the level of disorganized storytelling ruined Jiren for me, created the unlikely circumstances that led to the Universe 7 wrecking everyone, which is akin to a single wrestler knocking out everyone in a battle royal. And if you're going to portray the Universe 7 team as the underdogs, maybe don't frame them like that while also having them wreck every other universe.
Yeah.
But that brings
At least
me
help other
to
universes,
the
knock other
future,
universes out
my
along the
plans moving
way.
forward. As it stands, these last few months have really taken it out of me, and so I plan on tackling singular videos for a little while before moving on to my next big review series.
Okay.
And don't worry, there will be another one. I've seen your comments, and I will be returning with another series soon. Thank you so much for the support once again. My name is Totally Not Mark. I'll see you guys next week, and thank you so much for watching.
Cool. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. And that's that. I hope he does do the why the time travel thing makes no sense in the Goku Blackhawk. And also, putting it out there now, on Sunday there is a video going up on a channel that I am in, and I will mention it on the day. So on Sunday, my videos that go up on Sunday I will mention the channel and the video and link it down below. Someone got in touch. I went on their channel. They only have 2 videos at the moment. Really liked them, and they asked me to. And it's a Dragon Ball Super discussion video. So look forward to that. And basically, just so not everyone's rushing to the channel on that right now, I'll wait until the video's up, and then link it in the descriptions of the videos on Sunday, and I'll send everyone to that channel. But until then, thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave comments down below, let me know what you're watching, discuss in future videos, and I'll see you guys next time.